Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here today. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at Sandbox. And just before we do, we peek over at Bitcoin, see what's going on there. Just because it's important to understand kind of generally what's happening, right? Bitcoin's doing well in the overall sense of the word, right? So in other words, last two trading days, we've seen about a 5-6% increase. Trying to trend closer to 50,000, just got rejected by 50,000 in that sense, whereas there's a little bit on the exhausted side, and we should expect a retracement moving forward. Nothing significant perhaps, but the bottom line is that Bitcoin's consolidating as it should, considering the fact that it dropped by 27% in 16 hours, right? So we need to respect the fact that it needs to consolidate further before it increases. We also need to understand that 52,300 is at minimum in order to see the one-day candlestick close over that to feel as if we're back on track, okay? So don't get your hopes up just yet. We're not out of the woods based on the fact that we do have some news coming up this week with inflation and a handful of other things. So it's important just to be aware that you might want to consider dollar cost averaging and not putting all of your eggs into one basket. Okay, just some friendly advice there. And just before we take a look at Sandbox, I want you to know I'm not a financial advisor. I just love teaching people how to trade, and this is my passion, right? I love doing this. This is what I do every day for work. So I've got a trading community, as a matter of fact, where you can interact with me and the likes of some awesome traders, and we're all learning and growing together. But more importantly, I share out signals too that of every single trade that I take, so you can kind of learn how to structure your trades in this type of environment, right? So it's a really cool experience, collaborative, and just extremely dynamic. I love it. And I'm very, very thankful and grateful for my current community members. So thank you so much. Now, moving on to Sandbox, let's take a look here. To preface, first of all, we can see that this little support channel here between $4.12 and 5.05 worked and held very well. I've got this line here from a previous resistance, previous all-time high, current support level. And of course, the price, even though it broke down below 5.05, it's back up above, and we should expect to see that candlestick from today close above there. Okay, so all is good here, really. Not too bad. This looks very similar to Gala's price movement as well, where just price increased very, very hard, very fast, and we're seeing a slow taper down to eventually find its support level. Something else we want to kind of quickly look at here as well, and I'll just go ahead and narrow this in, basically only including ever since it started retracing, right? We're looking at just the retracement itself. We can see a strong amount of volume accumulation at about 713, so just be mindful that could be a resistance level when we get back up there. Also note too, we have a secondary, right where the price is at right now, almost a second largest volume accumulation at 531. So that's a good sign. That basically means that yes, a lot of people got FOMO'd in and kind of got, I guess you could say that they have a higher average price than the price is at right now. So a lot of people are probably in the red right now. But that being said too, there's a strong amount of volume accumulation in the last week or so here, kind of driving up that support in that sense, reaffirming a support at about $5 as a rough estimate. So $5, $5.30, that's a nice support level. So we like to see that. That's ultimately a good sign. See where the moving averages are at. And we can kind of identify here as well. If we look at this, go ahead, come on, baby. All right, well, it's taking a sweet time, not working for the moment. We'll take a look at the moving averages later. For right now, what we want to look at is the 50-day right here on the RSI. We're up over 50 on the RSI. This is fantastic. If you look at this, of course, that basically means that we're no longer in the doghouse, right? And that's kind of confirming that $5 is probably the bottom for Sandbox. So I would expect the price action to stay where it's at and or increase, pending Bitcoin doesn't lose its bottom, right? That's why we look at Bitcoin, just so you understand. Sandbox isn't completely reliant on it, but when the price goes up so high, so fast that like Sandbox and a lot of other good gaming coins recently, they're the first ones to get hit hard when Bitcoin retraces, right? Say Bitcoin sells off by 5%, we could expect a 10, 15, even 20% retracement from coins like this. So again, we're not like, oh, the bottom is in. But I would venture to guess that pending Bitcoin doesn't do anything stupid, then the bottom is in, if that makes any sense. All right, the moving averages are back up here. You can see the 50-day set moving average working its way up here to about $4.12. So that's reaffirming that support channel. So great news is even if the price were to fall out and the bottom falls out for Bitcoin, we might see some candle wicks down as low as $4, but we shouldn't expect the one-day candlesticks to close there, if that makes any sense. So again, I think we're trending very, very close to a bottom here from Sandbox. That being said, looking at the 4-hour, we can see the 50-day set moving average kind of working as a resistance right now, but the 200 is coming on up to kind of interact. So it's kind of just creating a small little wedge pattern that's eventually going to likely break out to the upside in this scenario. Now, you'll get a lot of people saying that, hey, death crosses can occur, of course, when the price comes down. Yes, that does happen, but with Bitcoin being kind of the main catalyst right now, and looking at Bitcoin, there's no likelihood of seeing any type of, death cross, so to speak. It's almost the inverse. We're going to see a golden cross from Bitcoin in the near future. We shouldn't expect anything of that nature from Sandbox. So these moving averages, while they're relevant, I don't think a convergence of any sort would cause a problem. Okay. Speaking of convergence, let's take a look here. We had a recent convergence on the MACD, but now the price is kind of tapering off, so to speak. Again, that's that 50-day simple moving average working as a resistance here. So ultimately, not bad. The key takeaway here is that we're above 50 on the RSI. That's really important. We can get this to kind of come down and bounce off of 50. That'll work as a support level and keep the price action moving higher. If you're not familiar with this, you want to work with you want the price action to be above 50 on the RSI, specifically on the 4-hour chart. It's extremely important it's above 50 and below 70, because then it it's not overexhausted, but it also has more room for growth. And that's right where we're at right now. So this is a good sign. So Sandbox could very well take off in the near future. I don't see any indications that it's going to do that, because it is consolidating at a resistance. So not a big deal, but we're above the support of 505. That's the important thing. And there's a lot of volume accumulation in this last week of trading. Also very good in that sense, kind of reaffirming that support level at about 5 to 530. Looking at the cloud, there's some good indications here. So first of all, we're above the cloud, check number 1. Conversion lines above the baseline, check number 2. And the lagging span hasn't intersected with the price action yet, check number 3. Just note that this price basically going sideways right now, consolidating, it could signal the fact that there's a potential for reversal, not a big one. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Even if it does, it wouldn't be a problem, because it'd still be considered a lower high and a lower low, right? However, what I'm getting at here is that when this lagging span intersects with the price action, or this conversion line crosses with the baseline, that's case in point where the Ichimoku cloud is telling us to close our position, or just consider, maybe, I don't know, trimming your position. Now, there's no reason to do that if you're in a long-term position, right? Say you got a long-term hodl, don't worry about it. If you're short-term swing trading, though, and you got in right here, you might want to consider taking profits right here, because it may, in fact, close, and that would essentially just tell us that, conservatively, you'd want to maybe consider taking some profits, right? So that's all it's telling us, right? I'm not telling you to close your positions, do what you want in that sense, but, be cautious in the sense that the store could be closing. We get the price to go sideways. It's not a bad thing. It just is what it is, okay? TD Sequential, we can see we got a bunch of resets here. Not a whole lot to extract, honestly, just pretty straightforward, letting us know that this period of consolidation is likely to either continue or to increase. But the good news is here, we got this low here, higher low, and potentially the next higher low, right? And we are, in essence, creating higher highs. So this is a healthy continuation. We like to see this. If all goes well, it pushes up to try to test its resistance at 580 and then continues on from there. That's ultimately what we're looking at here for Sandbox. So it's not like it's like, oh, this is groundbreaking news. Sandbox is shooting to the moon tomorrow. If you hear people saying that, I would be cautious, because the fact that we're not even close to being in the clear with Bitcoin yet. Therefore, proceed with caution and make sure you are, understanding what Bitcoin's doing before you make decisions on coins like these for now. Until they break free and they are independent of Bitcoin's movement, we have no reason to not understand what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin is kind of a beast right now. It's a beast in the sense that it's messed up a lot of things recently, but that's just the standard way in which it goes. The sooner you understand that, get on board, the better. Anyways, enough about that. That is essentially where we're at. I would say Sandbox would probably will hopefully continue to make higher highs and higher lows as we progress closer to 580. Once we get there, of course, I'll be able to reanalyze. I'll be able to take a look at this here tomorrow. This is my daily coin, because I get so many requests for this and a handful of others that I just need to make sure that we stay abreast on what's going on. But we're in good shape. I would just say, as per usual, takeaway here is a dollar cost average, and make sure you know exactly what your overall goal is for the coin. If Sandbox is your coin, keep adding to your position. That's perfectly fine. Just do not put all your eggs in this basket right now, because we truly don't know what the bottom will drop out from Bitcoin. That's my main takeaway here. So hopefully you found benefit. If you did, comment below. If you've got an open position with Sandbox, let us know as well. Excited to hear that. And if you're not already a community member, consider joining. We are transitioning from Patreon to a website platform. It's going to be a tremendously better experience with some awesome training tools to help get you up to speed if you're a newer trader, and obviously some intermediate advanced videos as well. Thanks again for your time. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.